Welcome back to the BetCanada channel. I am Jeff Lloyd, and we're going to talk about one of the most surprising teams in the NFL currently. Yes, the Indianapolis Colts, led by Daniel Jones. The Indianapolis Colts, led by Daniel Jones, are 3-0. Yes, you heard that correctly. Daniel Jones, who in 2024 was eventually just released by the New York Giants after asking for his release, so as not to muddy the waters for the team anymore. Jones signed quietly and finished the season with the Minnesota Vikings. So was there for the final run of December and a playoff game. One of the more intriguing names in what was a weak quarterback free agent class for the 2025 season, Daniel Jones had an interest. It was a weak class. Former first round pick, had formerly led the New York Giants to the playoffs and a road playoff win, coincidentally enough, a few years ago against the Minnesota Vikings. He had suitors. Signs with the Indianapolis Colts on a 1-year, $14 million deal. The money certainly was one that became a talking point for everyone. The Colts had already had quarterback Anthony Richardson. Colts drafted Anthony Richardson top 5. Anthony Richardson had all the tools you would look for, but obviously no success in his time early on with the Indianapolis Colts. Jones comes in, and the belief would be it was going to be a legit quarterback job to be had between the holdover Anthony Richardson and the newcomer Daniel Jones. Colts named Daniel Jones the starter, and a lot of the football world was surprised. It seemed more like it was going to be Anthony Richardson, and if Richardson fell and struggled once again, that would be the prime opportunity to go ahead and put in veteran Daniel Jones. This franchise made the correct move. They gave Daniel Jones the job. And a franchise that many, including myself, were not really sure what to make of here in the 2025 season. Roster's not bad. AFC South has kind of been dominated by the Houston Texans over the last few years, who are currently 0-3. But also, this was an organization that was kind of hurting and dealing with a major loss with the passing of owner Jim Irsay. Normally, these things can go one of two ways. Either everything around it kind of crumbles, and whatever you want to say about the man Jim Irsay, who certainly had his issues, he was not that way to his players. He was not that way about his franchise. Jim Irsay's issues were his and his alone. His players, his coaches, his front office, the team as a whole were the most important thing to Jim Irsay, and he treated it as such. Well, this team has rallied in the wake of losing their owner. And everybody is really rallying together on this roster. Jones, after today, is completing 71.5% of his passes to this point. He has thrown for 817 yards. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes and has 3 rushing touchdowns. Jones always had solid ability with his legs, and at times was using his legs more than the coaches in New York wanted him to. Jones does have 3 rushing touchdowns, but not a lot of attempts, not a lot of yards. Jones is hanging in the pocket and trying to let plays develop. And to this point, it has gone beautifully. Jonathan Taylor has always been a top running back in this league. This year, maybe taking a little bit more of an an ownership of the situation of this hurting franchise. 338 yards on the ground, 93 receiving through 3 games for Jonathan Taylor. He's punched the ball into the end zone 4 times to this point, averaging 5.6 yards per carry. Talk about a guy stepping up for a franchise in a difficult situation, and that is exactly what Jonathan Taylor has done to this point. Warren, the rookie tight end, has been pretty much everything as advertised. All the size, good route running, contested catches. He has shown all of that to this point. Colts are even using him in some short yardage situations as a quarterback, things that we saw Tyler Warren do in Happy Valley at Penn State last year. Michael Pittman Jr., Alex Pierce, these guys just continue to be good players on the outside. Tall receivers, vertical receivers, making plays on the outside. Josh Downs has really found a nice rapport with Daniel Jones as well. This team at 3-0, currently with a one-game lead in the AFC South over the Jacksonville Jaguars, while the Titans and the Texans, surprisingly, sit at 0-3 in the bottom of the AFC South. Now, if this was after week 1, I would have said, "Okay, not a bad start." Week 2, the Colts rally for a late game-winning field goal after they get the benefit of a penalty. Kicker gets a second shot, nails it. Today, they go down to Tennessee. Tennessee's backs are against the wall. There's jobs on the line for the Tennessee Titans. Brian Callahan is getting really, really loud as far as his tenure with the Tennessee Titans. And they had talks in the offseason about whether or not they were going to trust Brian Callahan with whatever rookie quarterback they selected. They stayed the course, but it certainly doesn't look good for Brian Callahan at this point to be 0-3 and having the number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward, at 0-3 as well. The Colts are an absolute good feel-good story right now. Certainly, with the situation that this team as a whole went through in the offseason. But Daniel Jones, who's always been nothing but a consummate professional and certainly had the ultimate highs and lows in his time with the New York Giants, maybe has settled into a little bit of a home here. That's why Jones took the one-year deal. The $14 million was certainly nothing to sneeze at, but Jones was trying to find a place where he could feel comfortable, where he could feel himself. And to this point, he's not just playing well, he's excelling. Statistical output, using his arm, nice mix of his legs. Most importantly, 0 interceptions to this point for Daniel Jones. The Indianapolis Colts are 3-0, and with the Texans sitting at 0-3, this feels real. Like legitimately real, that the Indianapolis Colts will be a serious contender for the AFC South. Sometimes the good guys win. And in this case, maybe that's just the case for Daniel Jones. I am Jeff Lloyd. This is the BetCanada channel. Leave a comment on the video, leave a like on the video, and please subscribe to the channel.